If you're finding it hard to manifest or reveal your specific person or twin flame, it might be due to trauma. And I don't want you to worry and be afraid or threatened by trauma. Trauma is not exactly what we may think. I personally had a lot of trauma in my life, and I had to go through a lot of healing, and I can tell you it was not easy. But the outcome was the most serene, most blissful, most freeing, most loving state I was able to access by just choosing to go into the trauma and growing through the trauma. I intuitively believe that the trauma itself is a portal to actually reach our fulfilled life on all levels. When I personally actually allow triggers to come in and the loss of love, right, to be an experience where my wounds of unworthiness and abandonment are triggered, and I actually go into my inner world and actually allow myself to go as deep as possible. And that way I can actually, be there for myself where I never have been before. By just doing this, by repeatedly doing this again and again, I have experienced states in which I was in a past state that was very traumatic for me. Experiencing it in the now, and this is not through, I didn't have to go through immense therapy. As the more you're actually healing through trauma, everything from the past starts just coming up, and as it's coming up, what it stops doing, it stops projecting itself as a manifest reality. So until now, we have not created our fulfilled lives because our traumas have been suppressed and therefore projected, because whatever we suppress is projected on the outer world as reality. And this is what causes suffering. The moment we decide to make our outer world our guru, our teacher, our mentor, to reflect back to us what we are not seeing in our subconscious, and then allow the triggers, therefore the presence of negative to you're going to use this word, it's going to maybe sound weird, but to penetrate us, so that we actually allow to feel it instead of numbing to it, right? To become permeable to triggers. That's when we actually start to master self-soothing. And we master self-sourcing when we allow love from the outer world to, run away from us, and that we lose love. When we allow to do this, we actually start mastering self-sourcing. And these states of being are actually so powerful because when we are able to master both, then all our traumas start coming up more and more, because there's space for us to feel and heal through everything that we have been holding, suppressed into our subconscious, projected on outer reality, and experiencing this life. Once we start just, connecting with ourselves again and again, connecting, feeling, and healing and integrating, we do not need to project unprocessed wounds and dynamics of childhood or, our mother and father wound anymore, and playing out this, dynamic again and again in this drama triangles with all these karmic and toxic connections or soulmates or whatever, twin flames too, you know what I mean? And specific people. We can just actually allow to for life to reflect back to us, not through our subconscious, but from our conscious and subconscious that are now dancing together, not opposing each other. And that will be experienced a lot different than what has been experienced until now in relationships. This is not only in relationships, it's also in relationships. We don't come to a place where our conscious and subconscious are totally aligned. No. But the trauma is actually giving us a direction of where we're needing our focus and our commitment to meet ourselves again and again. And once we get, the gist of it and we start doing it, we actually shift exponentially. And that's when our trauma starts to serve us. So there is a moment in this healing process when everything starts shifting. And I'll give you an example of this. So in my personal journey, I was actually stuck in a reality where nothing was happening. I had just met my specific person / twin flame, and nothing was happening. I was struggling to actually, say what I feel, say what I don't want, and actually ask for what it is I want. And in those moments, but I didn't even know what I wanted. I didn't even know what was going on when I was getting a trigger. When I did get triggers, I remember at the beginning of my journey, I just felt so overwhelmed and so much pain that I didn't know what to do with this. And it was the most excruciatingly painful thing that could ever happen to me. And therefore, wanting a relationship was not, what was really happening there. Yes, I wanted one, but also at the same opposing energy, did not want one, and was protecting myself from it, from the very thing I wanted, if you know what I mean. By doing the inner work, the healing process with the tools I have that actually use triggers, use a negative for our exponential connection and growth. So we use anything not working for us actually working for us. We allow anything that's working against us to actually serve us and work for us. By just doing that with my technique that I couldn't, send you the link in the comments below by you just commenting me underneath with a heart. I will send you the link, or just tell me you want the free masterclass and I'll be happy to send it to you. By doing this work with my technique that is a very simple tool, I healed all my traumas. And at this moment, I've healed my mother-father wound, minor child, my connections with my mother, my father, my brother. I am able, my twin flame, my specific person, we're coming closer and closer together. I am able to ask for what it is I want unapologetically from everyone, including my specific person. I'm able to say what I feel unapologetically. I was never able to even know what I feel. I couldn't even put a word on it. That's how much trauma I had. And by the way, because I had near-death situations, I used to go through this whole choking situation and I was not able to express myself. So I was able to say what I feel, say what I want, and put boundaries on my specific person, twin flame, and everyone else, but with love, not walls, boundaries, which means when something we don't like, right, we are able to express it, but not make the other person, the one that, make him or her feel that they're the ones causing us this pain, because it's mine. It's whatever that's needing to be seen and met by me, and, other people help me, trigger me, so that I can meet more of me. I'm grateful for them. But I had to get to this place from where I was so afraid of, petrified of any single trigger because I couldn't deal with it. I was out of my body, disconnected. I wasn't able to experience life. And I was actually just having sessions with my clients here and abroad in Greece, Athens, Greece, and that's it. I didn't have, wish to do anything else than to actually help people awaken and ascend. But after going through this process of healing my trauma, and I've become a much safer person for myself, for fulfilling my needs, the exact needs I want on all levels, health, wealth, and relationships. I'm here to hold you by the hand and show you that it's possible. So let me know if you want the free masterclass. We'll get started from there. And then you can actually get my course that I would love for you to try it out, where we are talking about love hurting, love not being here, and love coming and going. Once you actually experience those worst case scenarios that we all of us have done and gone through those worst case scenarios in our, life. And this is why we're struggling with relationships. Once we are meeting ourselves everywhere in our worst case scenario, and those worst case scenarios are actually the ones that we are repeating with everybody, we're triggered in our abandonment wound and in our unworthiness wound. Once we're okay with those two wounds, that's when we become the person we're looking for in relationship.